Hi, Big Tractor Power fans. In this video, we're going to visit with Tom Renner about some rare and unique tractors in his collection.
Tom, we're here with some more of your collection, and this is definitely one of the more historic tractors, I would say. The
Right.
first generation of John Deere tractors, the Waterloo Boy, which the company started producing in 1918. Do you know what model year this one is, or what time period it falls in?
I haven't checked Sterling, but it's probably about 1918, I would say.
Okay.
And that, right next to it, we got a little 1010 John Deere special with a John Deere two-row planter. Next to it, we got a 4620 power shift, which is a little unusual in a power shift. It came out of a cotton gin in Matthews, Missouri. And that, we traded it on a tractor a few years ago. And we had to use donor sheet metal on all of it because it was beyond redemption.
I've got a nice 2520. I always like the yellow canopy wraps.
Yeah, this is a fairly rare cylinder, 2520, especially in a diesel and especially in a power shift. That made it like, I think like 26 of these were actually made in a power shift diesel. 3010 diesel Archer, very low production serial number. All these in this row here are basically under 100 production numbers, starting at 2520 down to the 1010 high crop. 4,000 diesel, not real low production, but not a real low production tractor.
Still one you don't see around all that often. I mean,
No,
they're
4,000s. We've got two of them myself, but this one here we got ready to go for the museum. 3020, this is probably one of my favorite tractors as far as driving. It's a 3020 diesel power shift, low pro utility. And it's just a beautiful handling tractor. We've got a 4230, we'll see it in a minute.
What would a tractor what would someone have said, I need this tractor on my operation new? What kind of jobs would they have been looking to do with it?
Well, most of them are used on livestock operations.
Okay.
They need to get in a loafing shed,
Sure.
in a low area. A lot of them had loaders on, and basically a very maneuverable tractor, and quite often used in livestock operation, and quite often were pretty much used up. When you're around livestock,
Right, that's the end of
tends to be
it.
pretty much used up. 4030 convertible front end, which you don't find many convertible fronts. In other words, you could put a wide front underneath this, but you can't take a wide front tractor and put the narrow front
Okay.
under.
So something like this, maybe if you were picking sweet corn back in the 70s, that would have, put your picker on there and then
Ideal.
switch back to
This
a wide
pedestal
front.
here is totally different from the standard 4030. 3020 diesel high crop, 4230 here. This is one of my sons. We've had every bolt and nut. out
Another
of this
nice,
tractor.
narrow
It's a
front.
convertible
That's-
front also. 2510 high crop diesel sinker range, and that's a 3020 diesel high crop power shift, and that's original tractor there, which is for a high crop, that's unbelievable to find one.
Yeah, we can see that
Most of the high
console
crops
there.
were in sugarcane country and in an area where they were really used and abused.
Now this 4430 is a standout too, with the 4-post ROPS and high crop. And
Okay, it was a high crop. This tractor here looked like it dropped off an airplane when I got it. We had to use 100% donor sheet metal. And between rust and dents and dings, it was just unbelievably rough. But they're hard to find, so we took what we could find and took it from there. 2010 LP gas high crop.
I bet that's a rare one.
That's a rare one. A 2010 gas high crop. And we were told this 1010 is 101. I got out of Modesto, California. 1010 high crop gas. And come off the strawberry farm. Now why they use high crop and strawberries, I don't know, but
That's pretty
John
amazing.
Deere done some experimental work, and that's where it ended up at.
Okay, and then we've got a 4230 high crop.
A 4230 power shift high crop. This is a tractor I really like. It's just a really nice driving tractor that we use for parades and that kind of stuff. It's almost too nice to really take it out.
I always forget, I take pictures of these high crops. I get home, like, wonder what the hitch looks like. So I want to get back here and look at the back end, see how that.
It's got a 3-point hitch on it. Doesn't have a drawbar.
So
We've got a drawbar for it.
So with the high crop, I guess they would be cultivating sugarcane, something like that.
Primarily sugarcane
Yep.
country. That's where they were used for. Yep. Spraying and cultivation.
So no PTO either, I guess, or it's
Yeah,
covered
it's
up, or
Yeah, it's got PTO.
okay,
Yep.
yep.
I don't think they used them much in high crop
Sure.
applications in most cases. 430T, 5010 Wheatland.
Now, what makes it a 430T? Is that the, I guess, tricycle, or
Tricycle. Yep, tricycle front end.
Is this out of cotton country with a single tire, or
It came from the south. Yep.
okay,
Yep. Yep.
uh,
Most of them are cotton or vegetable
okay?
applications.
And the big 5010, these were a monster in their day.
This was my dad's 4020. I remember he bought it brand new. We bought the first 4010 that my dealer that I bought out sold new. And a few years later, they came out with a 4020, and my dad bought one of the first 4020s that they sold. And the unique thing about this was he had on a farm down in southern Illinois and sold it to a neighbor who was a dairy farmer. And he pretty much used the tractor up. They ran it low on oil and put a hole in the block. You could stick your head in the hole in the side of the block. And we'd lost track of it, and one of my son's friends told him, hey, that tractor's sitting out in the pasture. And you ought to maybe want to get it because it was your dad's tractor. So my son goes down there and buys the tractor, brings it back home. We got a different block, new pistons, new sleeves, new radiator, new water pump, new starter, new clutch, new tires, and the sheet metal was totally stoved in. They had a load on the front, and this hood was pushed in against the fuel tank. So we got donor sheet metal, and redid it, and got it all ready to start and run, had the battery charger on it. I went back here to give it a start, and the thing lit right away, and it was in neutral, and the thing drove. Ran into the workbench, ran over the battery charger, and we got it stopped, actually pretty quick, before it ran over him. Come to find out, when the engine blew up, they didn't put it in tow. And when they didn't put it in tow, there was no lubrication at the input shaft. It galled the transmission up. So then we went into the transmission, did the transmission, rear end, axles, and all this kind of stuff. So we've had every bolt and nut out of this tractor, repaint job, and a good friend of ours, Adam Koch, did the paint and the body work on it. And it's basically the way it better than when my dad bought it brand new. And
It's a great example of 4020. It's nice to have that history with it.
we had a T04 blower on it for years, and we're back to stock again. This is probably my favorite tractor right here, 4230, low profile, power shift, very low serial numbers, just a super 100 horse tractor in a package that you can just basically step up, jump on and off of for hay mowing activities and livestock work and just anything you name. It's handy as pockets in a shirt. It's probably one of the nicest tractors I ever drove, barring none, even our new tractors today. It's just a super nice tractor.
I always think I grew up in this generation, so I remember them being on the lot, so they still look new to me.
Oh yeah.
They're it's great to see them, so well taken care of and restored here.
730 LP, A high crop, 60 LP Archer, made 26 of these.
Wow. So is this a tractor from, I guess, West Coast or something like that, or?
Oh no, it came out of Louisiana.
Okay.
Yeah. It didn't look like this when we got it.
It looks good today.
Did I see any more?
We can look back here really quick at these side shields. These Orchard tractors really stand out.
Yeah.
They don't make them like that anymore.
No, they don't. 720 Wheatland, come out of Oklahoma. 420 high crop. 730 Argentina diesel. This tractor was actually made when they were making the 4020s.
Okay.
No power steering. Very, probably one of the most worn out tractors.
So did this have to come back from South America, or where did it come out of?
It came out of Argentina, from what I understand. It was wore out beyond belief. I mean, it took everything, sleeves and pistons, injectors, rack, all of it. Just sheet metal was terrible, but mainly just worn out. I mean, it must have had $25,000 on it. Just
That's a dedicated John Deere collector to get a tractor from another part of the world.
Yeah. 40 high crop, 830 diesel, LA they call it 435. This is Jacob's 706 high crop that we've totally went through.
Boy, that paint really pops.
It pops, doesn't it? It really pops.
I'm gonna just step back here so everybody can see. You don't see a 706 high crop that often, let alone an LP. That's a, and also typically this badge here says Farmal, and we can see on here that it says High Clear. So that's pretty neat that they had its own badge.
HN, EO, 440. This is another tractor here that Jacob did this one here. This tractor was so bad. It wasn't dents and dings, but this come out of Florida. I was sugarcane country. And the sheet metal was just literally rusted through. And we used all donor sheet metal. You can see on the axle, I mean, we soda blasted all this. You still see the pits that were down in there. You actually couldn't get out. And that, but
And this also has that High Clear badge, which is
it's
neat.
also high clear. Yep.
I do like these industrials because they have that different, heavier front end instead of the typical.
445, a 440, a 445 is diesel, 440 gas, a 420, a 320. This is a hit and miss engine I just redid. Was going to try to get it ready for our show and that. And I guess we're going to run an edger with it. Light row corn with this, and that it's 4030 diesel.
Oh, wow.
Single front.
I have never seen that even in the sales brochure.
Yep, that's little 2040 here, 4430. This is the very first tractor I sold. When I started in business. Again, the man came who built my building, and he said, "I want to buy your first tractor." And he said, "I want a 4430 power shift," and we ordered him one in, and it wasn't the first tractor delivered, but it was the first tractor I actually sold and ordered. And and I've owned it 3 times also, but it'll never leave again.
Sure. Well, when I think of a John Deere, I think of a Soundguard. The new 8Rs and 7Rs are nice, but I always think of the Soundguard.
Oh yeah. A 72. No, it isn't. This isn't a 70. This is an older one.
We can see up here when Tom mentions a console that they have all the controls up here next to the seat, much more like a modern tractor, and that's a nice item to have.
Yeah, this is the rare one here. Probably rare. This is a 4020 diesel console 72 model power shift, and that's really very few of those made. The dealership that I bought out in 1973, and the sign off the dealership to the south of me that went out of business about 5 years after I started, right there. This Marissa.
It's a nice, very nice collection. Some rare tractors, and I know there are many more here to see too. That's
I hope you've enjoyed taking this interesting tour with Tom. If you'd like to learn more about his and his family's tractors, visit Renner Stock Farms on YouTube. If you've enjoyed this video, consider subscribing to Big Tractor Power YouTube, where there's over 1,000 videos of farm machines in action. As always, thank you for watching.